Hi everyone, it's KFK's Creative Home. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're using this 20-inch candy cane wreath form from Dollar Tree to make a candy cane wreath. So we're going to be starting with this red and white striped ribbon, and I cut off a 4-inch piece. I'm simply going to wrap it around the end piece here at the top. That's the piece I want to make sure is covered fully, completely, neatly, because it's going to be one of the most visible points of the wreath when we're finished. So I'm just folding it in on its sides and then bringing that bottom piece up, making sure it's secure, it's snug, but not so tight that those little prongs start poking through. These particular wreath forms I ordered by mail, and you see those prongs hanging at the bottom, which I didn't necessarily like, but decided to keep them because it was so hard for a while to get these 20-inch candy cane forms. So I'm just going to add a little glue here and there and take that piece I put together there and just fold it back up, keeping everything nice and neat, like I said. So when you're looking at this candy cane when it's completed, it'll just have a really nice finished edge. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, which is the largest part of making this wreath, is to begin wrapping this ribbon around the wreath form. Now the stripes on this ribbon goes at a diagonal, so I can almost, keep the ribbon straight when I'm going across the frame, but I can't simply because I want it to wind up the frame. So I kind of got to angle the ribbon even though it's already got an angle on the stripes. So it took me a minute to kind of figure out exactly how I wanted to lay it to get it going, but I got it, and now I'm going to get started here by again folding that piece over on the side. I got it wrapped around the bottom so that again it won't show anything at the bottom, nothing to get poked through. And now I'm going to simply start to wrap my ribbon around. You see, when I'm on the back side of this wreath form, I give it a little bit of glue. When I'm on the front, I tend to just wrap, and each time I get to the back, I'm holding it real smooth from the front, make sure everything is laid down nice. And when I get to the back, I kind of hold it in place, give it a little bit of extra glue on each side of the frame, and then continue my wrapping. And you'll see me do that over and over again. And if you've been with me before when I do a frame where I'm wrapping ribbon, I don't like that crinkled and wrinkled look. I try to keep everything really smooth. And you can do that just by simply taking your time, holding it out straight, making sure everything is nice and smooth before you keep going. I guess that's one of the reasons I stop every time I get to the back. I give it a little bit of glue, hold it in place, so if someone is handling the wreath and moving, they won't accidentally even push up against that ribbon and push it out of place. I don't even know if that can happen, but better safe than sorry. So I'm going to just keep wrapping here, and you'll see I don't want to fast forward because I want you to see exactly how I do this from beginning to end so that you will know when you're doing yours, because this will be available as a kit. Hopefully I'll have it listed by I want to say close of business today. Today is Sunday, but at least by tomorrow. I have guests in my home and I'm trying to spend time with them, so I'm up early morning getting this video completed so that I can spend my days with them. But I do want to make sure that kit is available. I did a kit last year with the smaller wreath form, and everyone seemed to like it, so I hope you like this one just as well. And I do plan to hopefully do the smaller wreath form also, maybe in a couple weeks. Candy cane form also, so that it'll be available in the 20-inch, and I think the other one is 14 inches, I believe so. Okay, so this is the part I really want you to see. When we get to that curve, it takes a little bit of I call it pleating. See how I made that little fold there? Right on the on that inner curve. You're going to need some folds because, it's wider at the top than it is around that inner curve. But still, I'm going to keep continuing with the glue. But each time I get to that inner curve, see how I did a little pleat there again? A little fold so that it comes down smooth. On the outside, that fold continued. You can see it there. but it's not going to matter much because now to make it around that curve successfully, with that pleating and to keep it smooth, it's going to be, the ribbon is going to be even closer together each time you come around. So just work with me here. You see, again, I did a pleat, and now when I bring it around, even though I still have I'm working it till I get that pleat in there right so that I don't get those lovely crinkles. But what you'll see is that it actually covered the previous pleat because everything is so close together now. Yep, see how that's working out? Alright, so I did twice this time, and now I'm like, let me go back and get some glue in here because I want to make sure everything stays put. There's a little bit of gathering there on the back. It's not going to matter. It's not going to be seen. So here I go again, making another little pleat, bringing it around, and just going to continue doing this. While you're watching that, if you enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and if you're not a family member, consider becoming one by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell so that you can get notifications when videos are released. And you also may want to check in your settings to see if your notifications are turned on. Otherwise, you won't get any notifications. Okay? Alright, well that's not true because I was getting notifications, but when I checked my settings, notification was turned off. So I wasn't getting all of my notifications. So I don't know how the algorithm picks and chooses which ones you get. But you might want to turn that on so you can get them all. Okay? Again, I'm just going to continue with that pleating as I go around. And I don't know why I'm so crazy about just everything being so smooth, super smooth. And it's probably because I'm a seamstress. I sew also. And when you're doing those seams, oh my goodness. Oh, again. Oh, there's my little fella. I don't know if you see my company right here to the side of me. I don't know if I didn't realize he ended up in the video. So that's my grandson playing with his phone, talking to his nana. So anywho, I'm going to just keep, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to keep wrapping this around here. And you see I'm continuing to still do pleats while I'm making my way back to the side where I won't have to worry about the pleating so much anymore. For a minute here I didn't know where to put this ribbon. It just seemed to be in the way no matter which way I did it. So I moved it from side to side just to make it easier to work with. Some people drop their ribbon to the floor so they don't have that issue. I prefer not to, even when I have a basket on the floor and I drop it up to the floor, it doesn't seem to work for me. Maybe because I'm not standing. If I was standing, I would probably have a lot more room for that ribbon to, you know, kind of work its way up and be smooth by the time it got to me. But when I'm seated, it's not much length before the ribbon gets to you, and it can be even more crinkled and messed up. So I keep it on my little bow maker, right on that spool, and continue to work my way around. So we're almost at the end. Gonna keep going here, and once we get this done, we'll go on to the next step. But as you can see, I'm making my way to the very end of the hook of the candy cane where I did the initial bit of ribbon. In the end, in this case, it wasn't even needed. I was able to work my way around so completely and neatly that it would have covered the bottom anyway. But just in case, I like it to be there really neat, like I said, because that is going to be a super visible portion of your wreath. So see here, I'm actually going past the end of the candy cane a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how to get this going here and make sure I have it very neat in the end. So you see I'm now doing glue all the way up to the tip. I put that on. When I flip it over, oh no, don't tell me I went off screen. There we go. When I flipped it over, it's actually past the end of the candy cane. You can see that there. So that I now have the opportunity to fold it in and still cover the very edge. And I think I still like having that ribbon underneath that first piece because you see how on the side I pleated that in right there to make sure I don't get any bulging on the corner. So got that there, put a little bit of glue on the end. And now I can fold everything up on the end here, making sure the very bottom of my candy cane hook is super neat, and I'm just holding it in place for a while, giving that glue a chance to adhere, stick together. And now I can work on this very final piece. I'm going to fold it over, and you know I don't like raw edges, so I've just tucked in that last little end there because I don't want to see any frazzle dazzle from the end of that ribbon over time. And now I'm just gluing down that final piece. So everything is in place, everything is secure, and now we get to make a cute little bow. So I just want to share with you, picking off some glue strands, how everything looks. You can see the bottom is very neat. You won't be able to see into it because it will be hanging down. You will never be looking up into that bottom. But everything is smooth, just like I like it. Oh my goodness, perfect, perfect, perfect. At least for me. Not perfect, I shouldn't say that. I don't think very few things I think are perfect, but I got it just like I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to be making my bow. I've chose these three 2.5 inch ribbons, and then I'm going to have 3 of the 1.5 inch ribbons. Oh nope, I chose not to use that one, that joy one, because I realized I didn't have as much ribbon as I thought. So here are the other 3. So we're going to get started with making this bow. I'm going to start with the black, and then 2 of the reds, black and 2 of the reds. So to decide how wide I want to make my bow, I am laying my wreath form, and I'm looking at how wide it is. It's approximately 3 inches wide on that side, and I want the bow to go like 2 inches past it on each side. So I estimated 3, 2, and 2, which is 7. So I need my bow to be 7 inches wide, and yeah, put it right in between the 3 inch marks so you can kind of see. So for me, I'm gonna try a 7 inch wide bow, and we will start that. Yeah, I'm holding my hand there to show you. I'm gonna start that in just a second here. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my black ribbon here, and what I did was try and decide the tail. I ended up bowing a 14 inch tail, thinking I wanted it to hang down. In the end, you see I changed my mind, and I started by making a 7 inch loop. Big mistake, and I had to stop what I was doing. I made the bow completely. I had to undo it and redo the bow, and I'll explain why. I said I wanted 7 inches wide for the bow, and I made one side with that loop 7 inches, so the bow ended up being way too big. So I had to take it all apart and start again. In the end, I went past the 7 inch thought and tried, you see here, 5 inches. So I ended up making the tail a little bit longer because I had some extra ribbon now. So I think I added 2 more inches to the tail. And then I did 5 inch loop on both sides. And ended up, like I said, with about a 14 inch tail. So how long you want the tail is up to you. In the end, like I said, I did not actually use the tails. So if you like the way it looked, you won't have to worry about making the tails extra long. So the next ribbon is the same thing. The first 3 is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to do 5 inches for the loops, and then let the rest hang down in the tail, which is about 14 inches. Again, if you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share with others. And if you're not a family member, please consider becoming one by hitting that button and ringing the bell so you can be notified when new videos are released. This is Christmas in July, so I will be hosting some sales this month in my Etsy shop. I'm starting with this kit. It will be listed today or tomorrow. Again, my grandkids are here, so since I only see them usually about twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year in person, we do a lot of video chats, but because of that, I really want to spend some time with them, and I know you'll forgive me for that. So I'm gonna get that kit hopefully listed this evening, maybe if they go out today, I'll have some time to work on that, and then it'll be available in the shop. I will post a community post in YouTube when it's available, and so you can go and check it out. Okay, again, like I said, this candy cane kit did really well last year. I'm going to have again two, this 20-inch one, and I think the other Wreath form is 14 inches that I have in candy canes, so I'm going to have two available. Now my loops have come down to 4 inches, again with still the long tails, and I'm going to do that with the next 3 1.5 inch ribbons. So let me continue doing that. So far the ribbon has not been directional. The print on the words did have a direction, but both of those loops are kind of going side to side, so it's not too bad. You know, one side the words are like top to bottom, the other one the words are coming out of the bow. The words seem to be going into the bow. So like I said, that's not too bad. The rest of it doesn't have any particular direction. So this last one I'm putting on with the candy canes, it is somewhat directional, and so I decided, yeah, to put this red and white one with the stripes at a diagonal so that this directional one can go side to side. So first thing I'm going to do is still let my little tail hang down and give it a twist. I'm going to make my 4-inch loop, and you can see there, from looking at you it's right, but from my angle it is, the candy canes are upside down. So finish putting that in, and then I'm going to go to the other side, make my 4-inch loop, and on that side the candy canes are in the right position for me, for the angle I'm looking at, and then my tail. So what you do is grab that whole loop and twist it, and now the candy canes are in the same direction, top to bottom on both sides, so that when the bow, since you're looking at the top of the bow, the top of the candy cane is at that end of the bow, near the top, so that when it's hanging on the candy cane, it will be right side up. Okay, so I've got to slide my zip tie underneath here, because once again I forgot to do that. I think I need to put a sign on the front of my table here saying, don't forget your zip tie. I don't know what it is about that I always forget to do that. I'm going to slide my pipe cleaner in after I get started on this bow, because it's just too hard to get up under all this stuff sometimes. So I've lifted it off of the bow maker, slide the slide the zip tie to the back, and you see how I got my fingers going down the side of the bow because everything is stacked in a nice column. I want it to stay that way. And now I'm sliding my pipe cleaner in the back of that zip tie, holding it snug, pulled it as tightly as I could, and I'm sorry I'm off camera a little bit there, but I am shaping the bow, just trying to get everything where I want it. And then we're going to pull that zip tie super tight, and we're going to clip the end off, and we have our pipe cleaner inserted so that it can get attached to the candy cane. Alright, I am just terribly off camera. I guess I should have sat back down. So now reaching for the zip tie tool so that I can clip that, and I'm trying to hold the bow there so you can see how as I tighten it, the bow the loops get more fluffy. They start coming towards you a little bit, and I don't know if you can tell the difference how it's standing up. The bow is standing up a little bit more. Okay, still kind of shaping it, make sure the loops are nice and fluffy, and I decided I'm going to add this so that you can see the top of the candy cane, the bottom, you can see the shape, and you don't lose that in your bow. So what I did was, from the hook on one side, I went up about 2 inches, and then that's on the opposite side is about where I added my bow. And you saw me just point my finger there, go up about 2 inches on the hook side, and then go across and add the bow there. So I have tightened my pipe cleaner to the back, and now I'm tightening the ends together of the pipe cleaner so that it's making a little loop, so the customer has the option of hanging it from the loop or hanging it right at the hook of the candy cane. That's where most people just hang it, but they have an option here, so it can hang here or it can hang right there. Okay, Now that I have the bow together, I've got to decide what I'm going to do with all these lovely tails. Nice fluffy tails. So what I'm going to do here, still do a little bit more fluffing. Try and decide if this, yeah, this is where I think I start adding my greenery. So I've got some greenery picks. I'm going to clip them into 3 little pieces. Right here I had 2 branches, so one is going to go on the top. I ended up moving that one to the side later, but start off here in the top, and then I cut it, the second one, and ended up cutting that one right in half. I chose to cut it right above the top of the berry, leaving a little bit of stem, so that this one is just all greenery and one has the berry. Where I cut it, I usually put a dab of glue, making a nice little ball of glue, so that that metal piece that's been cut doesn't end up pricking you. That glue makes a nice little rubber ball. So I went up underneath all the ribbon, and I'm going to insert the greenery right into the, you can see how I put it on the side now, so that I have the 2 berries on the side, and then the greenery will just be in the top. All of this is not going into the bow, it's going beneath the bow where I have the pipe cleaner attaching the bow. So it's going to get hooked to the wreath and the pipe cleaner and the back of the bow. So that's the look I want. Now I can take it out and start adding my glue to the base here. Get that nice and thick on there. Like I said, lifting up that pipe cleaner and going right up underneath it, and same on the sides. And I don't have no problem lifting everything out of place so that I can see what I'm doing, because you can always fluff that bow back into shape. It's no big deal. So, because if not, you're gonna have glue everywhere trying to get it up under there and not being able to see. Okay, so now I've got that side done, and so we're going to go to the other side here, do the same thing. I'm going to pull it out from where I just had it placed. These berries sometimes get nicked, and you'll see a little bit of white coming out. This time, Christmas time of year, keep yourself a little red marker handy, and you can just put a dab of color right back there. Red marker, red paint, whatever you decide to do. I think a marker might be easier to work with. And so what I decided to do here is to curl the tails of my bow, and I started by the first one on top. I cut all of this ribbon at a diagonal instead of the dovetails. So I just started curling, and you'll see I just curl and curl and curl, kind of from top to bottom, putting everything out of the way. So I couldn't start on the bottom because I couldn't get to them. Everything on top was in the way. So I just started curling. And in the end, I thought it looks so cute, because you see now as I'm curling it, it's almost like it just became a part of the bow. It almost looks like bow loops. More fluffiness to my bow here. So I just keep going, curling, going for it. And in the end, like the whole, create a whole new effect here. Loved it. So I'm trying to cut along that diagonal that already exists, and still keep the integrity of the base there of the tail. Okay, so I'm going to finish curling this again. This is Christmas in July. If you have anything you would like to see, let me know. If I can't do it for Christmas in July, at least I can plan ahead for something for the Christmas season in a few months. Won't be long before I'll be jumping back into Christmas, because everything has started early this year. The stores put stuff out so early that people are already in Christmas mode. People are making, well, it's time now to make your fall wreaths, because you want to have them available for customers when they start shopping for fall. But at the same time, we're making Christmas wreaths because the stores started so early. The products are available, and we want to make sure we have things available to the customers too. All right, there it is. Do you see how those curled ends just look so cute? All right, let me finish this up here, share some pictures with you, and I thank you for spending time with me, and I'll be talking with you again real soon.